Hello everyone, welcome to Dev Talk 5. So I got a request to talk about why I use Spine when I don't use any other third-party processing or third-party software. Well, the answer is because I want this file. It's a JSON file that is an export of everything that you create in Spine. Okay, so this is the answer. I processed this myself. In fact, I actually find this to be more limited than I wish Spine was here. But it has an amazing amount of information in this file and everything you need to create really powerful animations that go in two different directions. That is a limitation of Spine. So Spine, if you guys don't know, is like a little bone structure like you would get with a 3D game. And you can grab the bones and rotate them and yada yada. This is not a tutorial on Spine. There's plenty of those online. You can find those. This is not sponsored by Spine. I pay to use Spine. But I got a question about it, and I said I'd make a video on it, so here's me doing that and making good on my promise. You can do things like, turn on and off images. So this is the back foot, so there it goes. So on and so forth. You can do all the rotating, all of that kind of stuff. And this gives you the starting positions for each one of these pieces of art. So each one of these is a different piece of art. And so you kind of put them all together on this bone structure, which took me quite a while to make because, I'm not talented in that way. But once you get it put together, you have, some people call it a puppet, other people call it a skeleton. But you have this, and then you can go through and you can animate it. So here's some animations. So for those of you that have seen the game, let's click here on the dot, switch it over to animation mode, and then you can run it. And then you have all these different keyframes. All of these are a different location in what you're doing. And then it interpolates between the two really nicely. Which, you can write all of this. One day I might go and write all of this. But this is a tremendous amount of work that went into this. The Spine guys and girls, I'm sure, have done a great job with this editor overall. And, it's very powerful. But before I go in any more, I just want to remind you guys to like the video if you like these videos. If you are a fan of the channel and you've watched a few of my videos, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out. And ring the bell so you know when new videos come up. So on and so forth. This video is from the request of a Patreon viewer. It's not that I don't do videos for everybody, but if you're on Patreon, if you're a patron and you're asking for a video, I'm that much more likely to do it. So consider that as well. Alright, so the controls that you get here, I would say probably would take me, and this is a non-consumer friendly version that I would be making. I would assume they'd take me a year to make, to get this level of depth on all of the different pieces going in, get the bone system working, which I actually have the bone system working currently, and that took me 2 months to do, to get this. So just importing this file in my own way took me a little over 2 months to do. So, and you get a lot of the same things here. So that's 2 months just to get the skeleton done. Getting the animations working in such a fashion as this, and all of these different controls, and you have a lot of things I'm not even using. But let's just say the stuff I am using, which would say maybe less than half of what's actually here, is probably a year worth of work. And Spine costs me, I don't know. I bought the enterprise one because that's what you buy. I want to say it was like $200, which sounds like a lot, and it is. It's one of the most expensive pieces of software. Other than Visual Studios, I don't know that I've ever bought a piece of software that was more expensive. You could say I've spent more on Adobe. I definitely spent more on Adobe because I bought legit Adobe's back in the day, and those were like $600. Okay, but let's go back to it. Let's not get too sidetracked. It's a lot of money for a piece of software, but if you consider a year's worth of work is $60,000 or so, I mean that's nothing, right? $200 is minor. So keep that in mind. So this is why I use Spine. I use Spine because I can come in here and I can make animations, and I can have a skeleton set up to where I can interpolate data and do all kinds of things. So, here's my death one. Okay, let's just run that one. Oh, he dies. Okay, no big deal. Or rather, it is a big deal because it's a lot of work that it saved me. Again, I don't use this software in my software, but I do take in the data file. And again, this is like every single bone right here. And then the parent for the bones, the length of the bone, the rotation of the bone, X, Y shifts. Translations is what those are called, sorry. And then you'll have the animations, and those are crazy. So let's see, I think that's right up here. The animations are almost the whole thing. So just the cast animation, I mean, it's huge. You look at this data that you're getting, and the intricate detail of all of this stuff. It gives you the angle and the curve and the time, and then if it swaps its view location, it gives it all to you. Scale changes, just huge. And we're still on that first one. We're probably getting close to the end. Yeah, there we go, right there. Okay, now we're on the next one. So hundreds of lines of code of JSON to get all that. And so I can come in here as a guy who doesn't make art. I can have my artist make the art. And then I can come in here and say, oh, well, I need this frame right here. Oh, I wanted it like that. Just a minor change, but it changes it a little bit. And now I can save it, and that's in there. Oh, that's my Discord. Always on Discord for you guys. Let's close that out real fast. I don't think that closed it. Oh, it did. Okay, but anyway, things like that. I can sit here and say, oh, well, on that frame, when it's all the way up, well, maybe I wanted it like this, and I wanted this arm pointed in a different direction. Sorry. And maybe tuck this in a little bit more. You know, now it's a little bit more heroic of a pose, so on and so forth. So you have all of this capability when you're not an artist. So if I wanted to have an artist keep making new frames, and every single time I needed it changed, now I'm paying for that, and it just adds up, and it adds up, and it adds up, and it adds up. I'm already taxing my artist's time substantially as it is to create what we're creating here with Guilds of Dalinar. And we already don't have as much art as we'd love to have. It's just a matter of time. This has saved me tremendous amounts of time. I'm also able to, with this skeleton and my programming, I can scale the entire skeleton in the X or Y direction. So, for instance, a goblin is like a scalar multiplication of like 0.87, I think, percent both X and Y. So it's just a smaller human skeleton. But the dwarf is the same width but shorter height. So we get a kind of a squishy skeleton. So with this data that I'm getting from this file is amazing. I'm able to process that into all the different races in the game, which gives me the ability to put all of these animations on a new set of skin for each character. Also, and here's why I didn't integrate spine stuff. I'm able to put on any skin or item into any bone, as long as it's scaled properly and the artist created properly, which took a little while to get working. It just goes on. That wasn't a part of Spine. You could do it, but it required you compiling it all together into Spine, and it got very complicated. And every time you needed a new set, you had to put it into Spine and compile it in and then put it back out. I didn't like that. I didn't like the way that worked. But this is why I use Spine, is so that I can do the animations. Or the artist can too. Kyle, the artist, he could go and do it. But he doesn't usually have time, and so this allows me to do this. This is the same reason that you create editors. Well, you're creating an editor. There's multiple reasons for that, but like for a level editor, it allows a programmer to make levels, and it allows the artist to make levels also. That's actually who couldn't make a level is the artist. So creating a level editor has the same idea. This is an animation editor to me. That's really what it is. It also allows me to go through and add bones, and I can do minor things that I would definitely never be able to do art-wise. Like, I couldn't draw this foot. Even this foot, too complicated for me. No way, right? I couldn't draw any of this. It's all way too complicated for me. I couldn't draw this hair and make it look good. Never. Never, never, never. But I can take this art, put it onto a skeleton, and then use programming to make the rest of the game. So I can take what comes out of Spine and make a whole world out of it. Now, I'm going to need a new skeleton for animals, which I am working on, so quadrupeds and stuff like that. So we have a lot to do, but it allows us to get a lot of reuse out of individual pieces of art. Now, limitation. You can only walk in two directions or do the animations in two directions, right? If you wanted to have the animations go up and down, you'd need two more skeletons. So you need 3 skeletons to do, and 3 sets of art to do 4 directional movement. That's a lot. And then you need 5 skeletons to do 8 directional movement. Because that and that would be the same skeleton get mirrored, and that would be the same skeleton mirrored. But you would need right up, right down, down. If you had all of those, the mirrors for 1, 2, 3 of them get mirrored to double up. But it's not as efficient as this. This is as efficient as we can be, and for an indie, that's important. So I hope that helps and clears up why I use Spine. I hope you guys can see that there is a use for third-party software. I'm not against third-party software. I've just written so much of my own software that I like to have control of it. And so when something's wrong with my skeleton, I can go in and work on it on my side and get it working. And I know it's my fault if it's not working correctly. Or like if I want to have faces swap out, which I do, that's on me, right? I just have to go in and finish it out. So on and so forth. So anyway, I hope that helps you guys. I hope that clears up the questions, and I'll see you guys next time.